How's it going, everybody? SilverShareHolder here. Want to talk a little bit about some thoughts I've been having on a gold standard and on digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin mania. So I was thinking about we could have a currency that is a gold standard and is also combined with the digital currencies. And what I'm talking about, I believe, basically would be a return to the original concept of banking, where you would have physical businesses. It could be LCSs, local coin shops, um, some kind of a chain or a network where those type of businesses came together to facilitate the transfer of gold from one location to another digitally. So basically, you would walk into whatever the local business is. Obviously, you could do it through mail also, but I think the idea would be to have them all locally based, where, at least the majority of people would be able to easily walk into a business, hand them a gold coin, and give the information required as to where to transfer that, get some kind of a credit or receipt or whatever for the gold that you deposited. The person on the receiving end would, instantly get that same amount of gold in return. So it could transfer, the gold from one place to another. Now, these businesses could charge a small fee for doing it, so they'll be providing a service. I don't know what the number would be, 1%, maybe a tenth of a percent, but they could charge a fee for the transfer of gold from one place to another or one party to another. This would open up online shopping based in gold where businesses could accept gold for their products. Um, and peer-to-peer transactions and everything else is a way of having a competing currency and being able to use real money and doing so conveniently. So from what I understand, that's basically how banking started, where when they needed to transfer money from one place to another, they used to have to tote around the gold or the silver, and it was more risky, so they started coming up with scripts where basically they would have, some kind of a note and a seal and, a wax seal or something. They would transfer the slip from one place to another. And then when the slip got to where it was supposed to go, they would cash that out. So the metals would be deposited one place, the script would be transferred to another place, and then they could cash it in. That place would have on hand enough to pay them out. And that's basically, I believe, at least part of how banking was started. And we could do that same thing today with gold. So I think that that is an option. And all this hype that Bitcoin has gotten, I think Bitcoin presents a lot of the same problems that the Federal Reserve note does, and even more so and to a much larger degree where it's completely digital. I also think it's a step towards a completely digital currency that's, totally controlled, totally tracked, totally subject to, taxes, seizure, elimination, confiscation, whatever you want to say. And it has no physical value. It only has the trust or the faith of those people using it to back it. And I think with a gold standard, you could have those same benefits of instant transfer. If you wanted, you could do it either anonymously or non-anonymously by using your name, to transfer from one party to another, whether it's private individuals, businesses, and they could issue like a code. You could have your account in some kind of a digitally generated script or whatever, your account number, and transfer to the other person's account number. And with local coin shops, maybe Western Union type businesses, something like that, I think the infrastructure already exists and could incorporate easily, the digital aspect of it, the ease of use of being able to instantly transfer from one place to another, in this case, real money. And just think it's a great possibility and a great option. And I know a lot of people are going to say we couldn't do a gold standard because there's not enough gold. I don't believe that's true. You could overcome that by either the valuation of the gold or the valuation of the goods. Also with purity, you could get into lower purity if you had to on the gold, but you could return to old pricing where things cost, pennies, or you could value the gold at an astronomical amount. But I think the supply of gold is easily overcome. Also, a bimetal standard would take care of that if you use silver as well. You could also use, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, whatever was needed to make change and stuff. So, if I bought something using a 10th ounce gold coin, that wasn't worth the 10th ounce, they could pay me out in silver. I could also use silver for, whatever the transaction is. And I think these businesses and the markets could easily take care of all that stuff where they could figure out the valuations, pricing, fee. But I think it's a better option to Bitcoin and could incorporate all the same benefits and eliminate most of the risks involved in that. Where I've even heard some of these people that are supposed to be, I've heard them called like, gold pumpers or, whatever. But even they're like hyping up Bitcoin is, I heard Peter Schiff going on about all the benefits of Bitcoin, and he was still behind gold, but I just think it's nonsense, and I don't trust it at all. I don't plan on buying any. Obviously, there's a demand for that sort of thing because the markets pump the prices up. There's a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people are talking about it. Quite a bit of buzz, and I think electronic transfer of gold and silver from one location to another would be a much better option, and there's no chance of somebody turning out a whole bunch of those things. Like they talk about this Bitcoin thing as being limited to a certain amount, and then they're divisible down to, so many fractions of a Bitcoin. Now that might be true. I don't know all about the programming, but I'm guessing the guy that invented this thing could turn out another million of those if he wanted to. Now he might have integrity, maybe he won't do that. But I think that the possibility is there. The same with hackers. I'm sure it's possible that a hacker could create a million or a billion of those things. Might not happen. I could be wrong about that, but that's just my take on it. Um, so I've heard something about like gold-backed accounts where they're talking about you could deposit so much gold and then the value would be available on like a debit card according to market prices on the weight of gold deposited. So that's more in line with what I'm talking about, but I'm also talking about just transferring coin from one place to another. So, I drop off 10 Silver Eagles at my LCS. You can go pick up 10 Silver Eagles at your CS via some kind of code that's been sent to either you or to the coin shop, probably to you, I guess, if you're the merchant or you're the person I've done a transaction with. So there are some things, some companies, I guess, working on that via like a debit card with gold-backed, deposits, and the funds would be available in Federal Reserve dollars. But I think we could just bypass that and just, straight gold and silver transactions with companies, with other individuals, and using all this digital technology that we have available, we could make the transfers instant and secure. So just some thoughts on that. Let me know what you think, and I'll get back with another video soon. Thanks for watching.